Welcome to a new episode of the Movieslingers starring
Nuan?
and Denol. It's been quite a while since our last episode us doing together. I got to listen to Nuan's previous episode on the last voyage of the
Demeter.
Demeter.
Did you get to watch that one or?
No, it's see, the thing with me is that I am a bit picky on movies, and like
You were not interested in.
no, it just kind of went through my mind kind of scenario because I was busy watching two movies that we're going to speak today.
Yeah.
And then while I was doing that, I just started watching Twin Peaks.
Oh, right,
directed
okay.
by David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah. I've heard of that. There's some trippy stuff I've heard. I probably need to check that out.
Yeah. So, how was the movie though? I mean, I guess you did a whole episode on it.
Go check out. It was alright.
Yeah.
Not great. It was fine.
Okay.
But let's get to Kenneth Branagh's
A Haunting in
Venice. But I guess before we get to that, we'll talk a bit about
the previous two movies.
Yeah. So first one is Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that?
I'll give it just overall of what I think it was. For me, it was a detective story and a period piece. What I mean is like films made in those Victorian time, about those Victorian times.
Yeah.
It's a very classic who did it kind of story.
Yeah.
I didn't expect the ending.
Who actually did it? Yeah.
That
was a surprise. Yeah.
That was a bit of it.
Yeah.
I got caught into it because I was having two suspects in my mind.
Right.
But
that was actually pretty brilliant the way they did that, because you suspect everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone has a motive.
Yeah.
And then they tell you like, oh wow, of course, yeah, it makes.
But there's always was one or two people you like strongly believe that they had a motive to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, so the last time I read a detective story, I used to read a lot of Sherlock Holmes stories. One of my many favorites were, it was called something about Baskervilles.
Yeah. The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because when you read the story, everyone has a motive to do something about it.
True.
And there's always that one suspect.
Yeah.
There was one suspect I didn't expect, but made sense.
Yeah.
I read this back in like grade 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But I loved the story. It was one of those most interesting stories I read during school time.
So this had that feeling.
It almost felt because everyone's like in one place.
Yeah, I mean it was it was probably written around the same kind of time period, right? Because Agatha Christie's stories are quite old by now. Yeah.
So like, who made these kind of stories? Was it Conan Doyle who?
I don't know who did it first.
Agatha Christie?
They all did. I'm guessing. We probably need to look into this. I don't know. I don't know which stories came first.
After watching Murder on the Orient Express, I was like checking. Apparently, they both wrote stories in the 1800s.
Right. Late 1800s.
Yeah, but I think I'm not sure who passed away first, but who like
okay, Agatha Christie's stories are a little more modern because they're taking place in the 1930s.
30s, 20s.
Yeah. So I'm guessing, and the Sherlock Holmes stuff is taking place like
1800,
before that, just before that.
Revolution.
Yeah. Right at the, maybe it might come to like World War One type of thing.
Yeah.
But that's the difference. So there is a small difference in the time period, but that doesn't mean that one person wrote it before the other one.
I just wanted to know because I mostly read Conan Doyle stories and I did come across some of Agatha Christie's work, but
But I really like that time period, the Victorian era, industrial age, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I love the introduction to Poirot.
Yes.
He's there. He's trying to get his breakfast ready.
And I think he wants to take a vacation, I believe.
Yeah. And he does that whole thing where a rabbi, a priest, and imam went into a and he actually makes like it's a very dark kind of moment, but that lightens it up, right?
It almost feels something from a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah. Like there's a really good balance of like the humor. Because he's also like on one hand very serious, but then it's very silly and fun and all of that. And then there was a good introduction, that scene in like Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
Where he quickly solves who actually was responsible for stealing that artifact or something.
I also like before that. I think there's a very nice introduction also about the eggs. He keeps on measuring the eggs.
He keeps measuring them. He's never happy because
they're always imbalanced.
Yeah.
They're not the same size.
And I like how now he talks about how there's an imbalance thing, but there's a payoff for that right at the end, where he says the scales of justice is not always properly balanced. I'm like, wow, okay, they set the thing with the egg, and that has a payoff. Like, wow, like, and that's something you notice when you like. I don't think I noticed that the first time I watched it. I didn't make that connection, but when I rewatched it, I was like, oh wow, like there's something. They reveal something about his character just by him measuring the eggs and wanting...
It's very different from most detective stories, because most detective stories is that there's a crime scene and the detective just rushes in and investigates. But on the journey, we learn more about him, but this kind of gave very personal kind of touch.
Like why he thinks like that and all that, right?
Yeah. In a very humorous kind of way.
Yeah. That was really, really cool. I mean, you just think it's just a joke. He has his OCD.
Like OCD,
But then there's a payoff for that. That was cool. And I like in actually all his movies, like when they start introducing the characters, they all start coming in and you see little bits of them.
Yeah.
And he's sort of watching everyone.
Because I believe they were, I believe so. Hercule is on vacation. He gets onto a boat.
In the first one?
Yeah. Like in the very beginning of the film.
Right, okay.
And then I believe they get on the boat and we are introduced to two people. The doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And the other...
Daisy Ridley's character.
Yeah, Daisy Ridley's
She's a governess or
governess,
something.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where I think anyone can easily be fooled and be like, oh, okay, these two are suspects.
Because they very clearly say that
don't let anyone know. Like
after this is done, we'll be free. And Poirot notices that as well.
Also, I like that there were those kind of small introductions. You had the nurse who was kind of trying to get into the train and
they all have like really kind of memorable kind of introductions to all of them. There's that count guy who's like really badass and violent and like why is he so intense? And then like all of these people, like they just have their little quirks and it's really cool.
I think just an overall plot. So this basically, I mean, the whole story of this is there's a murder that happens in a train. And Hercule has to find out who actually killed.
Which one of the guests.
There's also a very interesting cast. It almost feels like you're watching a Wes Anderson detective story. Because you have William Dafoe, you have Michelle Pfeiffer, you have Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp is there. You have Josh Gad is there. Right? And...
you said,
Judi Dench
is there. You had Daisy Ridley. So you had a kind of very interesting
Olivia Colman is also there, I think. Olivia Colman is the servant person.
Yes.
Judi Dench.
Yeah.
So and probably my favorite character, the Book. What's his name? Tom Bateman something. I love that guy. He in pretty much everything he shows up in. He's also in Da Vinci's Demons.
Oh, okay.
That's where I remember him. He's like this very excited like he's like a rich, spoiled dude, but he's very nice. Like he has like a good heart.
Yeah.
So he's like best friends with like Poirot. Like they're he's like the only friend he has, right? And he always gets very excited, and he's such a big fan.
Yeah.
He's always like he wants to see Poirot in action and all that.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, like, every time this guy pops up, I always suspect him. Like, he shows up in Death on the Nile as well.
Yeah.
And whenever he shows up, I'm like, okay, you just happen to run into this guy who's a fan of you, who wants to see you.
He has a bit like stalker kind of...
No, it's just that he's so excited.
Yeah.
And he's such a big fan, and he wants to see Poirot work. And he's rich, he has money. So he's like, is he like doing this just to see how Poirot solves the murder?
Does he also want to be a detective? Or
yeah,
like
there's like a weird thing, but every time like he is like actually like a really good guy. Like
he says that he's like fooling around and
yeah. So he's there, and they all get on the train, and then Johnny Depp's character he says that people are after him, and he wants Poirot to help him. Like to kind of keep him safe.
Yeah.
And then,
I think his job is he's like the train master, or like he's like a manager, right? Like
sorry, that's the book character.
Oh, okay.
His uncle owns the train, I think.
Okay.
He's just there to like
manage.
He's sort of managing it. He's not doing a very good. But that's him. I mean Johnny Depp's character.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like a kind of like he's like an art dealer, but he's like a fraud, right?
He's sort like of a scam artist, right?
So he's stolen money from various people, and he
sells like fake art and rugs, and
he thinks they're gonna come after him, and he asks Poirot for help, and Poirot is like, no, I don't want to help you.
I don't help criminals. He says it's like straightforward.
He has like a very strict code and all that.
Yeah,
and he doesn't
which is another kind of characteristic you learn about Hercule, because I think many people who are watching this film may not be entirely familiar with Agatha Christie or Hercule Poirot.
Yeah.
So it's also very nice kind of way to like show characteristics. So.
And his dialogue is really good. Like everything that comes out of Hercule Poirot's mouth is like beautifully written. Like he's so precise, and it's like a lot of fun just to watch Kenneth Branagh play this guy. Like he's like the main. He's the main. I feel like he really enjoys it. Yeah. He really loves the character. And he has like a lot of really good lines about like, I know what is right and I know what is wrong. That kind of thing.
I think one of the movies he has something about love, and I think even in the first film he says like love is not fair.
I think that's in the second one, because love is like the theme for the second one.
Yeah.
This is more like justice, and then I'm guessing most of our listeners have watched the movie. I mean, it's okay to spoil. It's a very old movie now. So Johnny Depp's character gets killed. And I remember thinking, like, the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, Johnny Depp just died." Okay, because he was like, I'm a fan of Johnny Depp, so I want to see more of him. But I think that's sort of like a thing for all of these movies. Like the biggest star
always gets
seems
killed.
to be the one who gets killed early.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of makes sense, because they probably don't have to pay them as much, because they are there for a very limited time. But you can use them in the trailers and the marketing. So I'm sure that's like a thing they do. But he's killed off. Of course, he's not a likable character. He's very shady, and everyone seems to like, people are not, they don't like him.
He's like the big white elephant in the room. Everyone doesn't like to look at him. No one likes to sit near him.
And as it goes on, we realize that everyone has a reason to kill him.
Yeah.
Right? because his real name is a different. He's actually going by a fake name, and they find out that he is responsible for the murder of this kid that happened a long time ago.
Yes, and not just any kid. This kid was the granddaughter of some famous actress or a very prominent family.
Yeah.
That all these people in the train are related to.
Yeah. They're all connected. They either worked for them or fought with them during the war, like the doctor guy. Yeah. And they were all like, all of their lives, kind of were destroyed
because of this one murder.
Yeah. And so they all have a reason to kill him.
Yeah.
And it's so cool, like, to watch Poirot, like, uncover all of these things.
Yeah, because so many events happen in the train. Because when everyone is on the train is going, and different like the murder of Johnny Depp's character happens.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there is a snowstorm, and the train has to halt, and everyone is like freaked out about this murder. They're like, who murdered this person? And people are kind of calling out each other, saying, "Oh, you're a suspect. You're a suspect. You're a suspect." And many.
Well, actually, in this one, they don't really do that, because they all. I mean, we know the ending. They don't really do that. They don't actually point directly at people, but
but they kind of they're giving a side eye that I know what you did, and they're kind of suspecting each other. So, but I think
they're sort of pretending.
Because they don't want to look too fishy too. Because if Hercule,
because they have to act like
they don't know each other.
Yeah, they don't know each other. They all actually do know each other.
Yeah, because even Michelle Pfeiffer's character is like, I don't know who here is a suspect, but I feel like we could get killed tonight.
Yeah, so they all act like somebody might kill them, right?
Yeah.
So and what I really like about it is that if you just watch everything carefully, what's happening on screen, the little looks they give each other when they pass by, or sometimes, especially the interrogations. I love the interrogations.
Yes.
Because if you really look at their expressions, like when Hercule says something and they
get triggered by it.
Yeah. You can see how, whether they are hiding something or they didn't say the right thing, and Hercule notices all of these details. So it's very and it's very deliberate how it's shot.
Also, there's this very interesting interrogation with the acrobat.
The count guy.
Yeah, no, not the count guy. The guy who can who gets like super aggressive and beats up people.
Yeah, he's the count, right?
He's the count.
He's like a rich.
Yeah. So, because while he's like checking the passports, he realizes that they're fake.
Yeah.
And they're
the name is different. Or
names
something.
are different, and like that. It's kind of interesting. You get as the audience, you get this point of view where you also feel like you're a detective.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of I feel like in a lot of detective movies, usually the character points out that and says, "Oh, this is this," but in this, Hercule doesn't.
He doesn't always tell you what it
tells you what it is. So you kind of notice
but we can see it. Like it's in the shot.
Yeah. So I think it makes it a very interactive kind of movie.
Yeah. Like, for example, when the sister character is there, she said our governors made us practice geography, something, and then he remembers
that
Daisy Ridley's character says something about geography, and then if you've paid attention, you can make that connection that she was working for her.
Yeah,
there was stuff like that, and another thing is that the movie looks incredible. I thought, like, it's a very beautifully shot movie, and there are other things. There are like there's a scene with Willem Dafoe. So Poirot is interrogating Dafoe's character. Yeah,
Dafoe plays his German scientist.
So he's pretending to be a scientist.
Yeah.
And very quickly, just before that interrogation starts, Poirot points out that you are not a scientist. I know you are a Pinkerton detective.
Yeah,
something.
Because the way you pronounce certain words.
Yeah, you're not German.
You're not German. You're American.
He points it out. So there's a second identity, and then, as that interrogation goes on, it turns out that before that he was a police detective. So he's played three people, right? And what I thought was really cool was the way that interrogation is shot. It's through this glass. and you can see Willem Dafoe's face split into like 3.
Oh, okay.
I was like, because there's like him right in the middle, and then there's like 2 half reflections on the sides. I was like,
that's a good shot.
Yeah, because then he's being 3 people, right?
That makes sense.
I was like, because I was wondering, okay, why are you going into this shot?
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, he's being 3 people, right?
Exactly.
I was like, wow, they thought of that.
Yeah.
So like, there's a lot of, little things like that they very deliberately.
Even the way the characters present themselves, from their attire to the way they talk, the way they walk. Even Michelle Pfeiffer's character was also very suspectable. Like the way she was like always too clingy onto Poirot, saying, who murdered him? And like, like like she was one suspect in my mind. Another one was obviously Daisy's character, because not Daisy's character, the doctor, who he actually says that he has worked with an Anderson, but not with the Anderson that Hercule Poirot is with. I was like, wait a minute, how come? There can't be like 2 Andersons working at the same time. So there, like you said, there are those little details that you pick on as the audience. And there is a final scene in this film.
After
everyone is assembled towards the tunnel, because the train stops near a tunnel because of the snowstorm, and I think there are railway workers trying to like clear off the train tracks. And so while all of that is going on, Hercule comes in, and I can't remember what he says, but it threatens them, right?
He says that, he says something like, every one of you can be the killer,
because everyone has strong motives.
Everyone has a motive, and it's like that scene is like, like they're all sitting at the table. It's like the Last Supper or something.
Exactly the way it's shot. Exactly,
walks towards them,
and also Michelle Pfeiffer is like right in the middle.
She's
like
right
Jesus,
in the middle. And
that's
like,
where he starts like unraveling who everyone's identities and what their motives were.
Even like the guy who's like the conductor guy, he's connected. He's like he's the brother of that maid who was accused, and there's like a whole
story behind it.
And then he realized, okay, like everyone was in on it, right? It had to be everyone, because no one person can do this alone. And everyone is connected, and then
that entire scene felt like one of those old films where the hero confronts the king or an emperor, and they're like in this emperor's kind of hall where all the witnesses are there. It almost felt like it, but it's in a tunnel, and it's in a kind of very out of place kind of scenario.
And it's a very intense scene, and
because I thought that kind of scenario would happen inside the train, right? But instead now it's outside.
But it's too big to have inside the train.
No, but I feel like most of the time, like in those kind of detective stories or TV shows, they have it in the scene itself, and they go, okay, this is what happened, this. But instead, like I felt like maybe Hercule felt like the train was too cluttered. Because like there's so much going on in those few days. And I felt like he was like, you know what, let's have this outside. Clear off the crime scene and reveal who the criminal is.
And turns out it was everyone.
It was everyone. Almost like everyone.
Everyone got a stab on Johnny Depp.
If anyone bets, like remember, like everyone kind of wins. Because everyone does have like a strong motive to kill Johnny Depp's character. Because like I think we mentioned, everyone is related to the late family. And at the end of it, a very interesting thing happens where Hercule is like...
he can't not tell the police. So he's like, then that means I can't lie. Book can lie. He will cover this up, but it's in my nature, I won't be able to lie. So he puts the gun down. And I think he's trying to test Michelle Pfeiffer, because Michelle Pfeiffer says, take me. I'm the one who planned everything.
I'm the one who planned
everything. She's the central person.
Leave everyone alone.
They can live out their lives now. They are no longer haunted by the tragedy anymore. They can, because a lot of the people are affected by the tragedy.
Yeah.
Like the sister is like, she's taking drugs.
Everyone wanted revenge and they got it. And
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like, they are still haven't started moving on.
Exactly.
Which is why they all had to do this.
And even Hercule says, I hope y'all be recovered from this. I hope y'all can move on from this. Yeah.
So then
because I think he feels at one moment about all these suspects, and he realizes like everyone suffered from this. And
No, he knows. He knows like everyone suffered, and he knows like Johnny Depp's character is like the bad guy. But he can't lie, right?
He can't lie. So
he does one final test. I think he puts the gun down, gives it to Michelle Pfeiffer to see if she's a killer.
Yeah.
He wants to know whether any of these people are killers. And that's why he puts it down.
Yeah, and that's why he says, he says, kill me. Yeah. Because I will tell the truth.
Yeah. And they don't.
No one does.
She just puts the gun to herself.
And then when she shoots, there's no bullets.
And then he realizes none of these people are killers even though they had to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
That they are actually good people.
And also, I felt like the murder scene felt very biblical. It almost reminded me of Julius Caesar.
Yeah. Because they
like everyone was like stabbing him together.
Yeah.
It felt very biblical in that sense. Like end of the day, everyone got together and they had one common goal and they achieved it.
That is
because everyone takes turns in stabbing.
Yeah.
And everyone there's only one knife.
Yeah, there's only one knife. They all take it one by one.
One by one. Yeah. And Michelle Pfeiffer takes the last blow.
Yeah. She's like the final.
She's like the final because she planned everything too, because she wants that final, stab.
So that was really cool. And then he realizes, okay, maybe I can let these people go.
Yeah.
And that's why at the end he says, sometimes the scales of justice, that whole, it's not very balanced. It's not perfectly balanced, but I have to kind of get used to it, is kind of what he says, right? And then you can see like, okay, he's changed a bit. Yeah. He's not the guy who was in the beginning of the movie with he's dissatisfied with the two eggs. And of course he's still probably dissatisfied with the eggs. In the other films. We come to see that later on. Yeah. But that was a good ending. I thought that was like really beautiful.
And then it ends with I think he gets a message from...
Yeah, there's been a death on the bloody Nile.
And
which doesn't make sense in the second movie because he's already there. But I think...
No, I think he was in London or somewhere, right? In the club.
Yeah. Because the setup for the second film doesn't come right after the first one.
Exactly.
But I think it's just it's just a reference. I think they wanted to leave the audience with like, we are making more.
More, yeah, exactly.
Kind of like the MCU, kind of thing. But that was nice. I mean, I really liked the first one. And the
first one had a really good cast.
Yeah.
In comparison to the second one, in my opinion. Because second one had kind of like B-list people you kind of seen somewhere, but they weren't very,
Yeah, I mean, Gal Gadot is the main one.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other people are not as big as that.
Because most of them either have been, I think one of
Armie
them...
Hammer is sort of cancelled now. Yeah. and Russell Brand is now cancelled.
He's gone.
Okay, let's get to that on the Nile. Okay, so this thing starts. Poirot is in Egypt, and then he's trying to enjoy the Great Pyramid while eating a pastry or something.
Yes, and also there's a nice reference to the first movie, the egg.
Right. Yeah, there's an egg as two perfect ones, right?
Two perfect,
This one. And then he sees this kite flying, and he's like, "Oh, who's ruining my moment?"
My moment.
And then realizes it's Book.
Yeah, Book is flying a kite on the pyramids of Giza.
No, this was the time when I was watching this movie. I was like, he's the bad guy. But yeah, Book is there, and then he's brought his mother. This time as well, and so they join him, and I think what happens is he has to. He's invited, no?
Well, no. So what happened was after the first film, he got fired from that job, and now he manages the boat.
No. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a job. No.
Yes,
he was fired.
He was fired.
He needs money. He needs to kind of have his own thing.
Yeah.
Because he wants to get married to that girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's what. So in this one, he says like, I'm like a kept man. It's like kind of thing he says. And so no, he's sort of living off the wealth of his family kind of thing. Yeah. So his mother is sort of keeping him close.
I think his mother and Gal Gadot, they're like family friends.
Yeah.
So
right? Like, so Book is from a very rich family, right?
Yeah.
So Gal Gadot is also from a rich family. So they've known each other. They've gone to the same parties and meetings and stuff like that. So they know each other from childhood. So Gal Gadot's character is getting married to Armie Hammer.
Yeah, because so before that, there is a scene in London.
In London, they're in like a jazz club.
There.
Yeah.
So Armie Hammer's character and
I forgot the name of
Emma Mackley.
Emma
she was
Mackley,
also in the Barbie movie.
She was in Barbie.
Yeah, she was in Barbie.
She's the one that looks like Margot Robbie.
Yes, exactly.
And So
So they go to the club and they're all dancing. So
Poirot sees them dancing.
And so
so Gal Gadot's character and Emma McKay's character are like friends from childhood.
School
but
friends,
Gal Gadot is very rich. The other one is not.
And Armie Hammer is like engaged to Emma Mackley's character, and then what happened is that he doesn't have a job. Yeah. And he's struggling to find a job.
Gal Gadot's she promises a job for him. Yeah. Because they're friends.
And she says to go have a dance with him.
Yeah.
And
during,
Emma Mackley's character feels a bit jealous about it. Yeah. And then there's a fast forward moment where we see, I think, a few months later.
Armie Hammer has left that woman and now
he's with Niet, Gal Gadot's character. But there's a problem though that Emma's character, I think her name was Jackie. Jackie keeps on like following them.
Yeah, it's very creepy.
She's like the ultimate stalker girl.
She's very creepy, like wherever she pops up. Yeah. And Poirot also happens to be there, and I think it's Book who kind of invites him to come with them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I forgot why Poirot is there. Poirot has to get somewhere, is it?
No, Poirot he's in vacation.
Oh, right.
But
so Book says just come with us.
Come with us. And then
no. Actually, Poirot has a special secret mission that we'll find out later.
Oh, okay.
He's been given a job by Book's mother.
Yes,
That's why he's actually there.
Yeah, he's actually there to find out who this girl is.
Yeah. So he's just tagging along as if he doesn't know, but he is there for a real reason.
Yeah.
It's just that he's hiding it from Book.
Exactly.
So Book thinks he just invited Poirot, and Poirot is like, okay, I'll come. So we'll reveal that later. So so this is sort of like the honeymoon kind of
thing, but everyone is invited.
They have invited their friends and
family,
for some weird reason, like the ex-boyfriend of Gal Gadot's character,
Niet's character, who's a doctor,
and then also, okay, it's fine. The godmother and all.
Yeah, the godmother, the aunt, the aunt and the aunts kind of made.
So in this story, the theme is sort of love, like what people will do for love. So everyone has some kind of love related thing going on. So you have like the godmother character, like she's keeping a maid, but that's not her maid, that's like her partner, right? So there is that going on, and then
she's a communist.
Yeah. That's why Poirot is like, hey, you have these ideas, but then why are you keeping a maid?
Then we reveal later it's a lot more than that.
Yeah. And then Russell Brand's character is like the ex-boyfriend of Gal Gadot, and then
we have the cousin also.
Oh yeah, cousin.
Who's a manager of the hotel and resorts.
Okay, he's there. Yeah. And then you have I forgot her name, the one from Game of Thrones. Jon Snow's girlfriend, wife.
She's a French maid.
Yeah, she's a maid, and like she also has like
she's Gal Gadot's like Niet's maid.
Yeah, she's a maid, but like she was like engaged to some guy, and they had to break up because of
their honeymoon destination was in Egypt.
Yeah.
But
so
she comes in because she also wants to for old time's sake.
But again, love is like there as well,
again,
right?
Yeah.
So there's a connection.
Interestingly, there's a scene where the maid actually tries on Gal Gadot's necklace.
To kind of show like, okay, maybe she has a reason to steal that. That is also there.
Yeah.
Another element is, and then you have Book's character who is in love with that girl, one of the performers at the band. And then the performer's aunt is sort of like a love interest for Poirot, kind of. And then even Poirot's, we see like his backstory as well, like because the movie starts with like this thing in World War I in the trenches.
Yes, he was
before captain. He had the mustache.
Yes,
and we actually see like why he
had to
get the mustache.
Yeah, because also in the first film we kind of get another glimpse of Poirot that he had a wife called Catherine.
Yeah.
And interestingly, my Catherine. And interestingly, Catherine is like totally different in the second film.
Oh right, it's a different actress.
Like she looks different completely. Okay. Like her eyes are like much more wider.
Okay, maybe they couldn't get the same actress.
Yeah, they.
I mean, it's just a photo in the first one.
Yeah, exactly.
But we see like his face gets blasted, and to hide the scars,
he has the mustache. And interestingly, I think he's kind of like General or someone had a very similar mustache.
So he kind of got the idea from that, I guess.
Yeah.
So his mustache got an origin story.
Story. Basically, there was this one letterbox review that said that this movie is the origin story of the mustache.
So they kind of set that up. There's a reason why
they decided to get more personal with Poirot by giving that kind of backstory and making him more relatable and because it's all about love. So even we see Catherine, right, like taking care of him, and he's worried that he looks completely different, and she's like, you know what, just grow a mustache. And like he's and also like the places where they go, like in Egypt, there are all these places that they go to this monument, right, and even that is made by the pharaohs, and they talk about the pharaohs' wives and it was a palace, right?
And how they made the widows, they buried them alive after the pharaoh dies.
As a way to have this immortal sense of love.
So that was like really messed up stuff, but that's also linked to the whole thing, right? So there's a lot of that going on, and
I, if I'm correct, not only with the widows, even some of the servants also buried alive, so that they can serve them in the afterlife too. So it's a whole ancient Egypt.
And we see like a shot of Gal Gadot pretending to be Cleopatra, which is funny because they wanted to make a Cleopatra movie
and nothing
happened after that. But that was a
nice. But that I kind of like that shot because she kind of looks like Cleopatra.
She kind of looks like
it. She can play it.
And also like Jackie's character says that she was supposed to play Cleopatra in the school play, but Gal
Gadot got it
and more jealousy there, I see. So that was again like they're really using that to like
so Gal Gadot's near this character called Niet, she actually tells Poirot
Lynette, right?
Niet or Lynette. Okay, Lynette. So she tells Poirot that Jackie has been coming behind of him, and she's like scared to her life because she could get killed.
And there's also like a lot of the other people are also like may have some motives as well to kill her,
because the godmother, she has spent all her money on the Communist Party, and she says that when the communists come to power, like people they're gonna get hanged. So that it's also interesting. It also feels like a family drama, because like you have the cousin.
He's been embezzling
money, and you have Gal Gadot's character who's like this totally, out of place kind of like she's not like, she's very clean and it's like she's in her own social bubble, and everyone else is like, trying to have the ends meet, and they try, like the cousin is trying to get the money.
Yeah,
and
everyone else is not as rich as she is.
she is like, she's that one. I think everyone is kind of also jealous of her.
Everyone wants what she has.
The money and the prestige and the wealth.
And then Jackie is also following around. And they go to all these like really beautiful locations in Egypt. Now, whenever they do like these wide shots, it looks really beautiful. But sometimes when they go with like a character, you can kind of tell it's a green screen. I'm guessing maybe because they were shooting during the pandemic, maybe they couldn't go. Because sometimes you have like, you can tell it's like a real shot. You'll see like a fisherman on the Nile or whatever,
because
right?
Even like if you take
which look like, okay, they sent a camera team that looks real. But then the next shot will be like they are obviously not there.
And there's this like CGI crocodile.
I'm guessing maybe during the pandemic it was difficult production.
Because if you take Murder on the Orient Express, the shots really look good. I don't
even the CGI, it's probably CGI, all the backdrops and stuff, but it looks really good.
It really looks
they probably took their time or something. Maybe pandemic, they had to rush
everyone
it.
was like working from home.
So it kind of does suffer a little bit at times. But the actual boat, the boat that they're going on looks really good.
And also this time, instead of a train, now it's a boat.
It's a boat.
No, because initially Armie Hammer and Gal Gadot's characters, they booked the boat only for them, but then they had to bring the whole family because of Jackie. I think something.
No. So Jackie shows up anyway. And they're like, and they find out that she has already booked a ticket. But we know how she got the ticket. I mean, it's quite obvious when we get to the end. But I mean, this one. So there is an explanation right at the end about who did it. It makes perfect sense. And I really suspected those two.
I felt this film was a bit. I mean, if you take the. I felt like I didn't really like this film.
Even like
it felt like huge letdown. I know the pandemic and all of that, but it's
not as the story isn't as interesting as the first one. Like it's obviously like so Jackie and
no, because like even if you like take the cast themselves, so the Murder of Orient Express, the cast looks really good. It feels like you're watching a good Wes Anderson
This cast
film.
Isn't as good.
Everyone is like you barely know these people.
They're all right.
But they're not great.
They are not Willem Dafoe and
Judi Dench,
Johnny
Depp.
They're not as the actress. Okay, Jackie is good. I think she's really kind of creepy and
she can act.
And Book is I love Book. Book is Book. I love Book. But some of the other characters aren't as memorable. They're kind of. I mean, they're fine. They're okay, but
the acting isn't that good.
They are just there, kind of, and you can probably get a better cast than that.
I mean, it almost felt like, because the first movie, the way it shot and the quality of the shots felt like it was a big budget movie. This felt like more like of a very low budget.
This feels like maybe a Netflix.
Exactly, it
kind
felt
of a thing.
like something that went straight to DVD and like.
I mean, occasionally you get some really beautiful shots, but then they are not very consistent when they go to the next shot. It looks a little cheap.
You feel a difference in the
So that but I mean, it's the same. I think it's the same team. It's the same cinematographer. Everyone's the same. So, and we know how that guy made it look like in the third one, which looks incredible. So it's probably not his fault. It's probably like they're on green screen sets. They can't go to the locations, and or maybe like they built the set of the boat at a studio. So it's really not there. So they have to use these green screens and stuff to kind of, so that has an effect. And like you said, the cast aren't that great.
Because I mean, let's be really honest. Gal Gadot can't really act.
But then she's killed. She's the one who gets murdered. But what did surprise me is that in this one, unlike the first one, multiple people die.
Yes.
This has a much bigger body count. Like people are dropping dead like here and there. Like whoa.
Like 4 bodies, right?
Yeah. By the end, like there's like a whole, like half the people are dead. And the one that really kind of shook me was Book. I didn't expect Book to die. And I was like really shattered. Oh my, he's like my favorite character.
Yeah, because the mystery is that there is a gathering that happens, and after the gathering, everyone goes back to their rooms, and there's a little confrontation also that goes on.
There's always like a confrontation. Everyone
between,
in the room.
Jackie's character and Armie Hammer's character, and Armie Hammer gets shot.
They pretend to have a fight, and
there's a fight. I didn't want to use the word pretend because I want to build up the crime scene. but I mean the movie's already out. Everyone knows. So that all of that happens, and sadly we get to know that, I don't know, sadly, but Gal Gadot's character dies, and everyone is suspecting whom, because there's a gun.
There's a gun
There's
there.
a certain caliber that was used.
Yeah.
And the gun that Jackie used to shoot Armie Hammer's character has gone missing. And it gets pretty chaotic from there. Because certain things get stolen. We find out there's a scarf.
There's so
much that goes on.
The red paint from Book's mother's. She's drawing and somebody
all
stole
of this goes on because of one murder. Like the whole entire boat is like so chaotic. It almost kind of reminded me of the end of Titanic when everyone is like trying to like get their luggage and like get on the boats at the same time. But anyways.
And then it is also revealed that Poirot was hired by Book's mom to check that girl to see whether
she's good. And then, but still her mom is not really satisfied with the answer. Because I don't know, because of the girl's background, I don't know, because of the whole racism kind of thing play a part, you know.
Yeah, she's still not happy, but then Poirot says this is okay.
This is okay. Because even before that whole confrontation, Poirot says that you don't need your mom's approval. You can still go ahead.
But I think I think that probably that scene happens too late, because by this point Book has already stolen. Because Book steals the necklace because thinking he needs money to support the family and all that.
No, because he wants to run away with the girl.
He wants to be
married.
Independent from the mother, right?
Yeah.
So he thinks, so he has already done that, and that is what leads him to dying. Because
while the interrogation is going on, he, I think, knows who actually shot Gal Gadot's character.
Not who shot it, but he was there when he sees who kills the maid.
Yes.
Because the maid knows who shot Gal Gadot, right? She knows that it's actually Armie Hammer who secretly goes up and shoots his wife.
Because like in the interrogation, like the maid is like super worried.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'll take care of you.
I'll take care of you, don't worry.
But then he doesn't do that. He sends Jackie to kill the maid and Book sees that.
Yeah.
And then Book gets caught up in that.
Book gets shot while the interrogation is going on before he reveals who
was stabbing the maid.
Yeah.
So that was actually like, for me, I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That was very effective though.
Yeah. For a kind of a pretty lackluster film, that was pretty. That was one of the many good scenes.
It's kind of like a pretty standard. You're killing the rich person you're marrying the rich person and killing them to get.
Yeah, it feels very stereotypical.
It's kind of very, we've seen it before.
Yeah, it's kind of
actually very similar to Hound of the Baskervilles. There's a similar plot, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a similar thing going on in that. That on that side of it, it's kind of like, but and then it kind of just ends, like it just kind of.
Yeah, it ends with
it ends very dark, in a very dark way, because Book is dead, and then I mean they do catch the bad guys, but then they kind of shoot each other.
They shoot each other, yeah.
And then it kind of like ends in like a very kind of it's much more of a downer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You feel kind of depressed almost, like towards the end.
I felt like okay, like,
because in the other one there's like a kind of a beautiful, almost kind of because the bad guy finds, justice kind of finds him, and everyone else can get on with their lives. They can leave the tragedy behind. The sister.
This was a bit like a downer.
This was a bit of a downer because maybe if book had survived somehow, maybe
it would have.
I think the only kind of nice thing we see is that Book's mom finally is sort of like okay with the girl. Like
the girl is consoling his mom.
Yeah, and then there is sort of like the aunt is sort of like almost like she says like, I wish I didn't see you work.
Yeah.
She tells Poirot. Yeah. And then later on we see him at her club. So maybe there's something going on.
And he no longer has the mustache.
Which doesn't make sense because in the next one he has it.
He has it again. He grows it back again. And,
after she dumps him. So let's get to the new one. We spent so long. We spent so long, almost an hour right now, talking about the first two movies. Let's get to A Haunting in Venice.
This was a big upgrade from the first. From
the second one. I still really love the first one. But this one really feels like on a production level, it's really good. Like all the shots of Venice.
The second one felt like a TV film.
Yeah, it's probably that green screen thing. This one
they kind of actually shot it in Venice.
All the outdoor scenes look like they are in Venice. And they look really beautiful and very grand, and and when they go into the haunted house part of it, the inside of that house looks amazing. And that's
and also it looks very grim at the same
time. And then this the DP who works for Kenneth Branagh, right? So he has been working, the two of them are working on most of the movies together. So he's been like his long-time collaborator. So I remember when, Kenneth Branagh has often been kind of criticized for putting Dutch angles in everything. Like, especially in the Thor films, the first Thor movie. So in this one, you get a lot of Dutch angles. But it's perfect. It
and also
just
you have
works.
a dolly shot also where it's like everything is like shaking.
Like inside the house, like the way the camera is tilted, it really throws you off. Like you're like, you can see everything really well, like in such great detail and even in these kind of wide shots. But it's very kind of, it puts you off as soon as you see everything, right? And it's very dim and dark, but not dark as in like murky. It's creepy.
And also when you're watching this film, it feels like you're watching a horror movie. And this movie, I think
this one is sort of like a horror movie.
It's completely different from the other films. Because other films are like classic who did it kind of films. This felt like, it's a supernatural kind of film.
And they have like the Tina Fey character, who is sort of now like the book kind of character, right? Because she is like a fan of him. She has written books. I'm wondering whether is Agatha Christie writing herself somehow into this? Because she's an author, and she has written about Poirot's cases and stuff, and that's how she got her money, right? So she's coming into this, and then she invites Poirot.
And also Tina Fey's character is a bit different from book.
She's very different.
Because Tina Fey is like this very popular author, and she's looking for the next case to be inspired and to get her next best-selling book.
And weirdly, perhaps ironically, I've suspected book on 2 occasions, but book never did anything wrong against Poirot. I didn't suspect Tina Fey, but she has been plotting against him, which is really funny.
More like plotting, like she was kind of setting up the entire crime scene.
She was sort of trying to see whether Poirot would break. Because Poirot doesn't believe in supernatural stuff. So she thinks that if she can make him believe, she has a story. That finally there is something that he cannot explain. So that's kind of, she's trying to trick him into this situation, right?
Because the overall plot is that there's this house, basically Poirot is in Venice in vacation.
He's invited to this seance.
Seance of psychics. And I think it's during Halloween. And
it's perfect. It's like Halloween, Venice,
Venice and it's
haunted house
and psychics and basically Poirot gets into the seance, and actually a year ago there was a death, a certain death of a girl. I think her name was Alice.
Alice, I think so. I forgot.
I think
Okay, let's call her Alice.
Let's call Alice, and she passes away, and
she's found in the river.
Ever since then, that this house, there's been people hear spirits. They hear.
Well, actually, no. They've said that the house used to be this place where they put the plague victims in.
Yes,
these kids,
children, and they lock them up, and they just
So there are like
during the Black Death.
There are local stories that the children hate the ghosts of these children hate doctors and nurses. And any doctors and nurses that come in to this house, they get killed. That's the ghost story. That's the ghost story that is, And so they bring a bunch of kids in to tell this very dark story.
It's a Halloween party. Like they start this off with a Halloween party, and Poirot is just like standing around, like, what the hell's going on?
He's kind of like very amused by all the little
kids and
and then they bring in sort of
and then there's this
medium, which is Michelle Yeoh.
And there's this kid who reads Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. Oh my God, that kid is like the creepiest thing in the whole thing. He's very smart.
Yeah.
In like a very creepy way.
Yeah.
And he's there, and then the medium, Michelle Yeoh
comes
in with this mask
and with a cloak.
It really looks really cool, like when she shows up.
And it looks freaky also, because when you look at the entire appearance of that, you won't believe it's Michelle Yeoh under it, because you feel like it's someone else, but when you remove it, it's her. And
but even like her look is different, like her hair, it's like a very different style from we've seen her, right? So she shows up, and then so the idea is that she's gonna contact the
dead daughter.
The dead daughter, and so they sit in this circle, and she's like
this typewriter
listening.
And
then there's a typewriter there where they say that she can communicate with the
spirits,
dead, and it'll type a message or something, right? And what I love about this scene is that Poirot, within like 2 minutes, he figures out that
this is all fake.
There's a guy in the chimney
who's like controlling the typewriter with a remote control.
I love how fast, because everyone sits down, and then like 2 minutes later,
everyone is like into this.
Everyone is into it, and he just
like, no, this is all fake. Stop.
He blows it wide open. But then creepy stuff keeps happening. Further on, keeps on happening.
It's like interesting. Michelle Yeoh's character doesn't break even after all of it happens. She keeps on selling this.
She keeps on. She can't break. That's how she makes her money.
She keeps on selling this idea that there's a lot more than what you think.
But really, she is actually a fake. There's nothing there. But then later on, she's killed. Right. So she's like we said before, the star of the movie, the biggest name is the one who gets killed. The most popular person on the cast is the one who
gets killed.
Who usually dies. So she's killed off, and now and then Poirot locks all the doors, and he says, like, no one is leaving.
No one is leaving.
We find out.
But before that, the medium. So there's a moment between Poirot and the medium, and then the medium just gives him her cloak and her mask.
And the mask to kind of say, okay, why don't you dress up, and maybe you might have more fun. Just get into the mood of Halloween, right? So and then he goes and tries to pick an apple.
Like, why don't I have some fun? And he goes to pick up an apple with his mouth, and all of a sudden he gets drowned in. Someone from behind kind of like squeezes him into this kind of like thing.
But they don't kill him. And then the medium, Michelle Yeoh's character, is found to be dead. And then they have to kind of figure out what's going on, who did it. But the interesting part is that Poirot now, because Poirot doesn't believe in any of this, but he starts seeing weird stuff. Like you hear this kind of singing. And I thought that was so creepy. Like we were watching this in the theater, and you start to hear a singing, and then I was like turning my head like, who's doing that?
I was also like turning back around.
Because
is that a kid singing?
Because it's very faint.
Yeah.
That you don't believe it's in the movie. But you know it's in the room.
I mean, that is such like good way of like using sound.
Yeah, that's so wonderfully kind of mixed into the sound thing, because you actually think it's in the room, not in the movie.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, okay, Poirot is hearing it. So that's real. Like, I was like, please stop doing that.
Because see, that's what I also like about this film, because in the second film you didn't get that sort of like interactiveness with, because in the first one you did. The second one I felt like you didn't have much, but in this one with the sounds and like you feel like, oh, it's also happening with you.
Yeah, it's really there. Like, and also like he starts seeing creepy stuff. Like he sees like this dead girl in the mirror, and you know, all kinds of unnatural things that he doesn't.
And there are like these phone calls that happen.
Yeah.
And
and the house itself is very creepy as well. You know, and obviously the way it's shot is another thing. Like wherever they go in the house, it just looks really, really kind of, you know, scary.
Yeah.
So that they did a really good job with that.
And also the interrogations this time was a bit more.
I think the cast is better.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Dornan, right?
Yeah.
He's the doctor. There's always a doctor.
Yeah, there's always a doctor. But this doctor is like a PTSD doctor.
Yeah, he's been through the war.
And he loves the owner of the house. He has this kind of.
No, he was the doctor to the dead girl.
Yeah, but she had feelings for that girl or something. I remember there was.
I forgot what his connection was. He had feelings for
the mother. Yeah.
The mother.
Yeah.
I forgot
he says that he kind of liked her.
Right.
Yeah.
But his performance is really good. Like he's very kind of, he has a lot of anxiety issues and he's always kind of creeping up. And the kid is, funnily enough, like kid is the one who's kind of keeping him calm, right?
Yeah.
The kid is very intelligent and like in a very scary way actually. But the kid calms him down.
Kind of like,
he's sort of in charge, right?
I felt like the kid reminded me of The Orphan.
Oh,
like,
right.
Because the way he dresses and the way he walks around.
He's like very unnatural.
Yeah. It felt really weird.
And then, so he's really good. Jamie Dornan is good. The kid is good. Tina Fey is really good.
Yeah.
Tina Fey and Tina Fey like has kind of like her funny side, but also like in a dramatic role, she's really good.
Like, I feel like she's more cynical towards Poirot.
Yeah.
Because of the whole psychic thing. Because she believes it, but he doesn't. So there's that kind of.
Yeah. And she's obviously, she has her whole motivation is to kind of break him, right?
And also she wants to like, because now psychics are becoming very popular because apparently The Last Witch got released and there was this story about it, and
they used to burn them, but now everyone's celebrating
now everyone
it.
is set free, and you know this whole psychic thing is become very popular, so she wants to kind of make a story based on
she wants her next bestseller book. That's basically what, and then she's actually kind of plotted this whole thing to kind of bring Poirot there. Of course, she's not the one responsible for the murder, but she is responsible for bringing Poirot here. Even though, you know, she kind of sets it up. And then, and as the story goes on, we find out like what really happened to the girl that died. And it's really messed up, I thought. Like, it was, because you also have like the guy who was sort of the boyfriend. He's also there, and then the mother doesn't like him. And as the story goes on, we find out that the mother was sort of
responsible for
the whole thing. Like,
because one thing is she didn't like.
No, she only had the daughter, so she didn't want her leaving her for the guy,
for the fiance.
For the fiance, so she kind of kept the daughter drugged.
With honey from a very toxic
this
flower.
kind of hallucinatory kind of thing. And what that did was that made the girl believe in ghosts and things like that. So she
also even Poirot also got caught into the whole thing.
So Poirot also gets drugged. That's
like
why
many times,
that's why he sees ghosts and he hears the singing, because he all of those stories are in his head now during the Halloween party and the story of the dead girl. It's in his head, so he's now imagining those things. So which was, I thought, like a brilliant way to kind of explain
what's going on,
why he's seeing all, because he doesn't believe this stuff, right? And everyone else, like, you can see, like, some of them believe in it, but some of them don't. And
also his own bodyguard was also in this investigation.
He used to be a policeman. It's a very similar thing to the because this one also has people who are connected to that girl, the death of the girl, and they are also all there. So he actually, the bodyguard is the one who helps Tina Fey to bring Poirot there, right? So he's also there, and then the two assistants are there.
Ultimately, it was the kid who was kind of behind everything.
The creepy kid. I mean, he didn't kill anyone, but he was sort of blackmailing the mother. To like... He made the connection, like, he was smart enough to figure out the mother was responsible. And he did the blackmailing. So he was the one who invited the medium
and all.
And so the mother thinks the medium is blackmailing her. That's why she
kills him.
And
kills
maybe
her.
the doctor, because the doctor would have told the medium. Is that what she's thinking? So she kills the doctor and the medium for that reason. And I mean, it's a very kind of messed up.
That's a huge shock, though. Because I thought, okay, now the mother is a suspect. She's the one who killed the daughter and was also responsible for all of this. And then there's that scene where Poirot just like looks at the kid and say, I know you did all of this, and like kind of like...
No, but the kid didn't want all of that to happen, right? The kid didn't expect
that to happen.
He just thought, okay, we'll expose... I think what is he trying to do? He's trying to expose the mother, right? He's sort of trying to see...
But then, I don't think... he says that...
What was his... Does he think they'll get money out of it? Or maybe he thinks they'll... Like, the mother will pay...
Here's what I think happened, right? Because the murder happens. And the doctor the kid knows.
The kid knows.
And the kid blackmails the mother to pay the money, because the father has no control of his finances. So the kid is the one who is looking after him.
The kid is sort of controlling.
Right?
I think
the mother thinks that the medium is the blackmailer, so that's why she keeps on paying money.
Because the medium knows very intimate details about the daughter and all that. So she thinks the doctor talked to the medium, and together they are blackmailing her. That's why... Because
in the beginning of the film, the mother says that I have no money to maintain this. It's like a big reveal towards the end. But I think Hercule tells the kid not to blame himself for all of it.
Because, I mean,
the kid
he wasn't trying to kill anyone.
The kid said that I wanted to protect my father. And...
It's a really kind of messed up story.
And for someone... So, because Hercule at this point, he's retired. But then towards the end of the film, he comes back.
I think because he realizes that he sort of...
misses the whole...
No, I think maybe he realized he's managed to save those people, right? Like, because you found the killer and now... Because he... when it's revealed the mother did it, there's a sort of a chase scene. She runs and then he goes after her, and then the mother is on the roof, and then Poirot sees, like, he's hallucinating, so he sees the dead girl kind of floating in the air. And then the mother slips and falls down. And then he kind of... I'm guessing we are seeing from his point of view. We see, like, the mother and the dead girl sinking into the water.
Together,
So I think what he realizes is that it kind of sets the ghost to rest. What, you found out who the killer was, and because the mother probably would have killed everyone else, because the mother actually
can finally reunite with his daughter.
Maybe. But I don't know if he believes that. But I think he realizes, okay, maybe by taking cases I can save people. because that final thing that we see him in, he's telling this guy, okay, your uncle or whoever somebody has killed
your brother is taking advantage of
and they will likely kill you too.
And
so
because the brother wants your will.
It's a minor thing. It's not a big deal.
It's a small thing. I feel.
But I think it just shows that, okay, now he realizes he can save people. And, because he's sort of sick of watching people die. But then he also realizes, okay, maybe if I do this, I can
save people and take on cases.
Because the mother would probably have killed the creepy kid. Because she does threaten to kill him at one point, right? So all of those people, he sort of saved them by being there. And
also, I mean, even the lighting in this film is totally different. Because the first two films are like bright, and this is like dark, and the lighting.
It's mostly in that house, right? And they've done a really good job, like decorating the inside of that house. Like it looks like wet and grimy and like
dark, and it's cold. And
it's really perfect. Like everything they've done inside that house too. And then once it ends, you go back out into Venice, and it's so
and you see
open.
This very open and it's colorful, and you see
they do this like drone shot where the final shot keeps going on and on, and it's so spectacular.
I think we both were like sitting there and we were just like looking at the credit scene, and
I want to see the complete shot. Let's just wait for the credits. Because it looks so good. So this one is like much better than the second one.
I think it's one of my favorites. I think Murder of the Orient is one, and this one I think Death of the Nile is like because I so while going on Letterboxd and while I was like putting on my star reviews, I saw that there was a Agatha Christie adaptation of Crooked House.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it was like a TV film, or it was just
there has been a lot of adaptations over the past.
I think it kind of came out recently. I think it was low budget. I don't know who was in the movie, but I think it was a pretty interesting cast.
It's probably public domain. Anybody can make it, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but maybe because so many people have made.
No, because I'm just like now looking up on Letterboxd because I saw it somewhere.
Right. There has been an earlier film for Orient Express, and some of these have been done before.
Let me see.
But Kenneth Branagh has. I think this is sort of like a return to form.
Oh yeah, 2017.
All right. That's the same year I think Orient Express came out.
Glenn Close, Max Irons, you have all these. Here
Glenn Close is, quite a known actress.
Yeah, there you go.
Huh. Oh, okay.
So it was a 2017 film. I saw it. You can actually now watch this on YouTube.
Oh, right.
You can watch it. You can watch the whole film for free.
Okay.
I think I saved it somewhere, but. But
so it's like a TV. It's like a TV film.
Yeah, it's like a TV film. Very low.
So that's
budget.
based on this story. So this one is haunted house. No, Halloween. I think it's Halloween night, right?
Yeah, it's called Halloween night.
Yeah. So he kind of changed the name on this one.
So I don't know if Poirot is in this one because this is also Agatha Christie adaptation, but no, I don't see any Poirot. Nope. Okay.
but I think it's like a good sort of return to form for Kenneth Branagh. I'd be interested in seeing another one. Like
exactly.
I think he can keep doing this. He's always good.
Yeah.
And I think this one shows like, okay, if you get a good cast.
I feel like I think if you put more money into his budget, he'll make it better.
Yeah. Oh, at least get some good actors in, right? Yeah. Because I think the location matters.
Yeah.
Where they go, and and
the cinematography and the sound.
Cinematography, those are the same guy. So
but the sound was also quite played a lot.
The music was good. The music was by I forgot her name. She's the one who did Joker.
You were telling me that.
So there are moments where you can hear the violins going, and it's very, very creepy.
Yeah.
so get Kenneth Branagh his mustache and another good cast.
Yeah.
With maybe like 1 or 2 stars.
Because like while this is going on, we also have the Ryan Johnson films, which is based off of Agatha Christie books.
It's so cool that there's two
alternatives, and then they're good.
Yeah, they're both.
I love Glass Onion.
Yeah. And I saw recently Ryan Johnson was tweeting he's going to watch a Haunting in Venice.
Oh,
he's
nice.
Very
That's
excited.
Cool. That's cool.
Obviously, of course, he's going to watch it.
Kenneth Branagh should show up in one of Ryan Johnson's films, like cameo or whatnot.
He can be a character.
Yeah.
One of the cast.
They could do like a crossover, like maybe like.
Well, I guess
Daniel Craig's
that would be hard. That would be hard because they live in two different time periods.
Yeah, two different. But they could they could do a story where Daniel Craig's character's like great grandfather in the 1800s was also a detective,
maybe he has a mustache too.
They could
okay. Now you've convinced me. Okay.
Like he's coming to London for a case and he comes across.
They team up and
it's like a Sherlock Holmes kind of a
Yeah. Okay. Why not throw Sherlock Holmes in there as well?
Yeah, put in him there as well, and
So you have Robert Downey and Jude Law also pop up.
Yeah.
And it's like a whole team of detectives. No, I think two would be. Two would be enough. Yeah, you don't need more.
But maybe Sherlock could be mentioned in the movie,
like he's there somewhere.
And
This is like the murder mystery cinematic universe.
The classical literature.
Yeah.
The CLU.
Yeah. Oh my god. No, don't give them ideas. They'll do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this one is quite entertaining. It's scary.
Yeah.
It looks really good. The performances are good, and the mystery is, I thought, a bit more interesting.
More interesting and more it's very hard to figure out who's who. Who did.
And also it deals a lot with guilt and regrets and
death and
very bad experiences during war and a lot of sad memories in this one so. The
first one is justice, the second one is love, third one is on death and regrets and
so there's a good story there. So so hope if you guys haven't watched this, I think we can recommend you watch this one.
This is actually better than the second one.
And actually quite scary at times. So if you're a horror fan,
you love this.
Even if you're not into murder mystery stuff, if you're a horror fan, you might like this one. Because there are no jump scares from what I remember.
No jump scares.
There are no, sounds the sounds are all in the world of the movie. If something falls, you're going to hear a sound, but there are no fake sounds.
Yeah, and there's no ghosts jumping out of nowhere.
You see ghosts, but it's very nicely done.
Yeah.
And I wish more horror film directors use this kind of, because Kenneth Branagh is not a horror director, but you can see that he knows how to do it. It's not those kind of really really cheap scares that you get in movies like The Nun and all that.
The whole sequel, horror films.
So very
a lot of slasher films do that.
They're very cheap scares. Somebody suddenly walks into the frame and there's a loud noise
and it's
I think in this one you don't get loud noises. I remember one time I got scared was when Tina Fey puts her hand on Poirot's shoulder. The hand comes out of frame and you're like, whoa. But there's no loud noise. It's just the hand and you're just like, whoa, okay. You're kind of scared, but it doesn't feel like a fake.
It's not over exaggerated.
It's very tastefully done, I think. Okay, so I think that's it for A Haunting in Venice.
I think we talked about all three films.
And
can't wait for more. I don't know. Is there any news of a new one?
I mean, I think it's still I'm hoping this one will make enough money. Because the budget is around 60 million, so maybe they can. But unfortunately, I think the box office has been going down. I think the first one made the most money. But I think Death on the Nile, because it came out during
the pandemic.
And it had a bigger. It was more expensive to make.
Wasn't it? Didn't they release it on streaming services? Or
I think maybe that may have also played a role. They released it too early. Maybe? So that it dipped a bit. And this one, because of the lower budget, it might
because now we are like in this post Oppenheimer Barbie kind of era.
So I'm really rooting for this one to make just enough money so he can get another one. Because these are really fun. So
anyways, thank you so much for tuning in.
Nearly almost 1.5 hours.
But please stay tuned for more episodes in future. More films to talk about, more films to dive in. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more. See you then.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.